Hello guys, welcome back to our anime explainer. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of Swallowed Star 2 origin continent based on novel. So let's start. In the future, I must thoroughly study this life-blood river, Luo Feng thought. This could also enhance my understanding of the primal chaos laws. Comprehending the primal chaos laws was difficult. Thus, multiple pathways were needed concurrently, such as Luo Feng residing beside the primal chaos ruins, observing and comprehending from close proximity, which was one route. Cultivating some secret techniques that directly target the primal chaos realm, such as a world-breaking 9 blades, primal chaos great strength diagram, Duan Mie, Dong Hua, and others. The deeper the cultivation, the deeper the understanding of the primal chaos laws. Techniques like Duan Mie and Dong Hua were even directly aimed at the godly king level. And the eternal true god level mechanical stream secret treasures, Showu Wings, and Life Blood River both contained primal chaos realm moves. Delicate contemplation of them could equally enhance understanding of the primal chaos laws. Multipath concurrency, and still only those with extremely high talent, hoped to become a primal chaos overlord. Luo Feng, undoubtedly, could comprehend the Lai Yuan technique, and cultivate an unimaginable perfect divine body, his talent so high that even godly kings sitting on the mountain marveled at him. This harvest is bigger than I anticipated. Luo Feng counted these treasures, over 980,000 cosmic sand and the mechanical stream secret treasure Life Blood River, valued around 1.5 million cosmic sand, were the biggest gains of this mission. As for the eternal true god level armors, weapon secret treasures, precious medicines, exotic beast materials, and other various collections altogether, were close to 200,000 cosmic sand. This blood python leader was quite wealthy. Luo Feng was very satisfied, aware that the size of this loot also involved some luck. After all, the vast majority of powerful beings would use up their cosmic sand. Cosmic sand, left as is, was merely wealth. Spent, it could enhance one's own foundation. After drinking that fine wine from the vice president of the Flame Wind Guild, my understanding seems to have improved. After storing away the treasures, Luo Feng sat cross-legged in the space inside the Star Tower, and began trying to comprehend the primal chaos laws. With just a focused perception, he could sense the substantial primal chaos laws that were fully manifested alongside the primal chaos ruins. As vast as a sea of smoke. Luo Feng carefully observed. All things originated from chaos. The difficulty of fully comprehending the primal chaos laws was imaginable. At this moment, not too far from Luo Feng's cave dwelling, Primal Chaos Armor No. 3 cave dwelling, was a super-large cave dwelling of the Moli family. The blood python leader is dead, he is really dead. Jiarong Qi, also a customer of the Flame Wind Association's Dark Hall, naturally received the news first. The bounty task was completed, and her 40,000 cosmic sand reward was completely deducted. If the task hadn't been completed, the task issuer could rescind the task, deducting 1/10 of the cost and returning the rest of the reward. Ha ha ha, he's dead, he's dead. Tears were in Jiarong Qi's eyes, looking like she was both crying and laughing. After her father and clan members had died, she only had thoughts of revenge. The enemy's quick death, however, left her somewhat bewildered. Little Qi, before, the guards and you went to the Fire Realm restaurant, visiting that Luo He. Could the death of the blood python leader have anything to do with Luo He? Moli Feiyun made a guess. It was Luo He who killed him. A voice sounded. Moli Feiyun and Jiarong Qi turned to look, and the one who came was Moli Meng. Father! Moli Feiyun exclaimed in surprise, was it really that Luo He who killed the blood python leader? Yes. Moli Meng nodded. Having received a message from the dying blood python leader, he looked at Jiarong Qi with mixed emotions. I didn't expect that your visit to Luo He would actually get him to take action for you. Jiarong Qi asked, is Supreme Lord Luo He all right? She was immensely grateful to Luo Feng now, willing even to become his servant. Of course, he is. Moli Meng sighed, in the whole city of Huyang, who now dares to offend him? How did you get him to help? Moli Meng asked. Jiarong Qi shook her head. I just explained the situation, and Supreme Lord Luo he agreed to help. He asked for nothing from me, just told me to return, and that I would receive news before nightfall. Moli Meng, upon hearing this, mused, quite generous and decisive. From these actions, Moli Meng could glimpse some of Luo Feng's temperament. Should I visit him to thank him? Jiarongqi was somewhat hesitant, but by doing so, the outside world might guess that it was Supreme Lord Luo he who acted. Don't rush. Moli Meng shook his head. Currently, the various powers within Huyang are paying attention to him, and many wish to visit him. We can wait a bit. In a few days, I'll take you to visit him quietly. Moli Meng, also an eternal true god with a small cosmic domain, could block surrounding prying and thus could visit quietly. All right, Jiarongqi responded. Moli Meng was indeed not wrong, and there were quite a few powers within Huyang City that wished to visit Luo Feng. Although the news that it was Luo he who killed the blood python leader was still relatively secretive, first, the city owner's mansion had observed the past scene and already discovered it was Luo Feng. Second, the dying blood python leader had messaged 5 different powers. With so many powerful beings aware, with time, the news would naturally slowly spread among the upper echelons of Huyang City. Lord Luo he, Zonyun has come to visit. Chairman Zonyun stood outside Luo Feng's cave dwelling, quite humbly. See a th novel, F.I.et website on Google to access chapters of novels early and in the highest quality. Zonyun waited for a while, but the entire cave dwelling's door remained closed with no response. Finally, he reluctantly turned and left. At that moment, Luo Feng's cave dwelling. Is this the third distinguished guest today? Moyu Qingyang couldn't help but say, are we just going to refuse everyone at the door? Morosa casually said, as long as the master is in seclusion, it doesn't matter who it is, no need to mind them. The previous 3 guests were all eternal true gods. Moyu Qingyang still felt immense pressure, as the high and mighty eternal true gods had each faced rejection. Morosa chuckled, just wait and see, there will be many eternal true gods visiting today. Give it time, and you'll get used to it. I understand. Moyu Qingyang was also mentally adjusting, being a minor true god, he needed to get used to his master's way of handling things. Focus on comprehending the 10 fundamental laws, your understanding is too slow. Morosa shook his head. As a sector beast who mastered the destruction of the origin, grasping the 10 fundamental laws was as easy as eating and drinking. He just needed to grow with time, and his understanding of the path of destruction would deepen until the day he fully comprehended it. In his eyes, Moyu Qingyang's perceptiveness was truly mediocre. Oh? Moyu Qingyang obediently responded. Lord Luo he, Zhuyu from the Zhu clan in Huyang City is here to visit, came a voice from outside, belonging to another eternal true god from the famous Zhu clan of Huyang City. Moyu Qingyang ignored it and focused on comprehending the laws. Asterisk 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 asterisk. Hometown, primordial cosmos region, inside Luo Feng's mini-universe. On a bustling human planet, Luo Feng and Xu, dressed in short sleeves and wearing straw hats they had made themselves, were leisurely sitting in the outdoor area of a restaurant, drinking beverages and chatting. Luo Feng, you say your son has been striving hard without any improvement in strength. Why does he still push himself so hard? Xu shook her head. At the last family gathering, Luo Hai was the only one not there. Luo Feng smiled, his gaze piercing through space and time, seeing Luo Ping signing contracts, and Luo Hai cultivating alone in the depths of a massive black hole. His 2 sons had taken completely different paths. Luo Ping had lost all interest in cultivation, while Luo Hai was passionate about it. Luo Hai has fighting spirit, and that's a good thing, Luo Feng said with a smile. After all, with an infinite lifespan, one must have some pursuits. He's just a universe venerable, with universe master, and true god ahead of him. Even if he breaks through, what then? Xu said, seeing him work so hard, I sometimes feel sorry for him. Don't you feel sorry for me? Luo Feng countered. Xu glanced at him. Initially, she was always worried about Luo Feng, especially during life and death crises, more panicked than anyone. But as time passed, she had come to calmly face everything. Of course I feel sorry for you, Shushin said with a smile. Only then did Luo Feng pick up his drink and blissfully sip it. He was indeed cautious in the land of origin, but his divine power incarnation at home always had a relaxed time, often wandering the world with his wife and enjoying it immensely. After all, inside a mini-universe 100 billion light-years in diameter, countless humans thrived and gave birth to a dazzling culture. Luo Feng and Shushin strolled from place to place, having only explored the tip of the iceberg so far. Ancestor. In the distant stars, a universe master respectfully said, when passing by Mountain Sitting Guest's mini-universe, I noticed that his mini-universe is expanding rapidly. Inside Luo Feng's mini-universe, whenever Ancestor was mentioned, Luo Feng would naturally pay attention. Mountain Sitting Guest's mini-universe, expanding rapidly. Luo Feng was surprised. What's wrong? Shushin sensed something was amiss. The teacher's mini-universe is expanding, let's go have a look. Whisking his wife Shushin aboard a spacecraft-like secret treasure, Luo Feng traversed space directly to where their master Mountain Sitting Guest's mini-universe was. Being an eternal true god with a perfect divine body, even just a wisp of divine power condensed into a divine power incarnation, Luo Feng was still unrivaled by true gods. Woo! The spacecraft-like secret treasure stopped in the primal chaos current, where other true gods and universe masters had also arrived, all watching the expanding mini-universe. Ancestor. Ancestor. Lord of the Galaxy. Upon the appearance of Luo Feng and Shushin, surrounding true gods and universe masters showed utmost respect. The strong beings of the human race naturally revered him as ancestor. Currently, the human race has two ancestors, one is the primordial ancestor, and the other is Luo Feng, the galaxy ancestor. Their mini-universes, one several billion light-years and the other 100 billion light-years in diameter, were the habitats for the reproduction and survival of the human race. Luo Feng had resolved the Sector Beast crisis and saved the primordial ancestor, and since Luo Feng's mini-universe was much larger, his status within the human race was indeed higher than that of the primordial ancestor. The primordial ancestor had no objections to this, especially since his 9 netherworlds was also taught by Luo Feng. Luo Feng responded, then looked distantly at the expanding mini-universe. Once the teacher breaks through to the true god of void space, he must venture into reincarnation, Luo Feng thought. Is the teacher finally going to the land of origin? As time passed, more and more powerful beings arrived here. Incarnations of power of primordial ancestor, primal chaos city lord, Jinyan, and others rushed over. The birth of a true god of void space in the primordial cosmos was a significant event, attracting a great many onlookers. Luo Feng. Hong, Thunder Lord, the two of them also arrived by secret treasure. Big brother, second brother. Luo Feng greeted them with a smile. The three of them had started their journey from Earth, so their bond was naturally extraordinary. Once Mountain Sitting Guest makes a breakthrough, he'll have to face the samsara, right? Hong said. After all, he was also a true god. Luo Feng had already asked them to wait before making a breakthrough, and to first discuss it with him and the primordial ancestor. Luo Feng looked into the distance, right? After the breakthrough, one must face the samsara within a year. Brother. Luo Hua, with their father Luo Hongguo, mother Gong Shinlan, and under the protection of Shimo, also arrived here. Mountain Sitting Guest is your teacher. His upcoming challenge in the samsara is a given for us to witness, Luo Hongguo said. The fact that Mountain Sitting Guest was Luo Feng's teacher was widely known in the primordial cosmos. Luo Feng nodded slightly and continued to watch the expanding miniature universe. The expansion of the miniature universe continued for over a month, reaching a diameter of 7.2 billion light-years before stopping. Huff! An elderly figure flew out from the miniature universe. It was Mountain Sitting Guest. Luo Feng approached alone. Teacher. Luo Feng flew closer. I've been in the primordial cosmos for so long, it's time to return, Mountain Sitting Guest sighed. Though he had lived here for more than one reincarnation era, this place was ultimately not his homeland. Going to face the samsara now? Luo Feng looked at Mountain's sitting guest. Mountain's sitting guest nodded. Right now. How will we meet in the future? Luo Feng asked. After his teacher arrived at the land of origin, he was to undergo reincarnation. The divine power incarnation that remained in the primordial cosmos would also disperse, making it difficult to meet again. When it's time to meet, we will meet, Mountain's sitting guest smiled at his disciple. My greatest accomplishment since arriving in the primordial cosmos more than a reincarnation era ago was taking you as my disciple. A mediocre disciple primarily relies on his teacher's support. But a truly dazzling disciple, the teacher merely provides assistance. Mountain's sitting guest looked at Luo Feng. How far you can go ultimately depends on yourself. Luo Feng nodded. Remember, don't rush, Mountain's sitting guest reminded. When you are strong enough, aiding me in my revenge is just the natural order of things. When you are not powerful enough, rashly intervening will only lead to your demise. I understand, I have patience, Luo Feng nodded. Mountain's sitting guest nodded. I'm off to face the samsara, no need to see me off. After speaking, Mountain's sitting guest gave a slight nod to the many powerful beings in the distance and then flew toward the samsara channel in the tilted peak sector. Luo Feng watched this scene from afar. Everything went as planned. After Mountain's sitting guest faced the samsara and arrived at the land of origin, he quickly used the reincarnation secret technique and was born as a native creature of the land of origin. Luo Feng. Primal Chaos City Lord hurried over. Teacher. Luo Feng greeted him. From starting his growth from Earth, Jinyan, Primal Chaos City Lord, Mountain's sitting guest, these three teachers had all provided him with great help, and he always respected these teachers. The miniature universe of Mountain's sitting guest has begun to collapse. Primal Chaos City Lord said anxiously. Luo Feng nodded. He's your teacher, aren't you worried? Primal Chaos City Lord asked in confusion. You and many human true gods have said that as long as one breaks through to the true god realm before facing the samsara, success is guaranteed. How could Mountain's sitting guest have died? Primal Chaos City Lord didn't have much of a personal connection with Mountain's sitting guest, but he had devoted his life to the human race, so he naturally worried about the future safety of so many human true gods. Teacher Mountain's sitting guest successfully faced the samsara, Luo Feng said. He died after he had completed it. Primal Chaos City Lord was somewhat puzzled. He died after he completed it. Supreme laws limit what I can say, Luo Feng said. I understand, Primal Chaos City Lord nodded, aware of this limitation too. Both the primordial ancestor and Luo Feng had faced the samsara. One was the teacher of Primal Chaos City Lord, the other his disciple. He was very clear about the restrictions of the supreme laws. As long as one breaks through to the true God realm, it is good to be safe in the samsara, Primal Chaos City Lord nodded. As for Mountain's sitting guest, in the future, you will know, teacher, Luo Feng said. Asterisk 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 asterisk. Land of origin, Yu Kingdom, Huyang City. Boom, boom, boom tilde tilde tilde. The doors of the underground grand hall in the cave mansion opened, and Luo Feng exited his retreat. Master. Morosa swiftly came to greet him, while Moyu Qingyang also quickly arrived from afar. Luo Feng nodded to them. With a step, he reached a distant mountain, sat on a large rock, and drank alone. This scene left Morosa and Moyu Qingyang looking at each other, somewhat perplexed. Get on with your business, Morosa instructed Moyu Qingyang, then quietly flew closer to Luo Feng, smiling obsequiously at him. What's up, master? You seem a bit down, Morosa inquired. Not down, Luo Feng said softly, shaking his head. His teacher had reincarnated to prepare for vengeance, and the biggest hope for his teacher's revenge was clearly on him, his disciple. Since the Shi Kingdom had managed to invade far and wide and survive to this day, it was definitely powerful. To confront the rulers of the Shi Kingdom, it wasn't going to be easy, and Luo Feng naturally felt some pressure. Not down. Morosa observed Luo Feng closely. I am contemplating several formidable enemies, Luo Feng said. Your enemies, master? And more than one? Morosa asked, "Who are they? Do you need my help?" Luo Feng eased up a bit at the sight of Morosa. He needed to hone his will, diligently practice secret techniques, and comprehend the laws, steadily increasing his strength step by step. But Morosa only needed to eat, drink, and absorb some energy to naturally reach a level far above the Shi Kingdom in the future. "If I need your help, I'll tell you," Luo Feng said. "I believe I should be able to deal with them." "When the time comes, leave the corpse to me," Morosa quickly reminded. Luo Feng smiled, "Don't worry. By the way, Moli Meng has passed a message through Moyu Qingyang, wishing to visit you," Morosa said. "He passed the message through Qingyang?" Luo Feng was surprised. It's said that Moyu Qingyang's father, Moyu Hu, has been recruited by the city owner's mansion, and is now an official there, Morosa said with a smile. Luo Feng had quite a good impression of Moyu Hu, the first creature he had become acquainted with upon arriving in the land of origin. Moyu Hu would spare no effort for the sake of his 3 children. Just because of this, Luo Feng admired him greatly. "Let Moli Meng come," Luo Feng said. "Yes. I will make the arrangements immediately," Morosa left quickly. Since the Moli clan's cave mansion was also in the Primal Chaos residential area, it took only a moment for Moli Meng to arrive with Jiarong Qi for the visit. Lord Luo He, Moli Meng greeted with great enthusiasm. Supreme, Jiarong Qi, with tears in her eyes, immediately knelt down. "Thank you, Supreme, for taking action to avenge my father and the many lost lives of the Jiarong family." "Please, take a seat," Luo Feng said, already seated. Moli Meng took a seat opposite Luo Feng, while Jiarong Qi sat to the side. "I am Moli Meng, fortunate enough to serve as Deputy City Lord of Huyang City," Moli Meng said with a smile. "Hearing about Brother Luo his slaying of the Blood Python Association leader, I am filled with admiration and have come to visit. The many important affairs of the city owner's mansion are decided jointly by the 5 great families, and Moli Meng represents the Moli clan, also serving as the Deputy City Lord." "It's a trivial matter," Luo Feng remarked. "It may be trivial to Brother Luo He, but to our city owner's mansion, it is certainly not. Throughout the land of origin, dark forces are innumerable and indestructible," Moli Meng said, shaking his head. "Our city owner's mansion can only try to restrain them, unable to eradicate them completely. If we do not give them a little sustenance, dark forces would completely turn hostile, rampantly killing and plundering. Maintaining order is not easy," Luo Feng nodded. With a wealth of intelligence information from the veins of God King Jin and Duan Dong River, he was aware of how insanely berserk some terrifying beings could be, causing mayhem and plunder, against which the weaker true gods were utterly powerless. The city owner's mansion attempted to maintain balance by enforcing constraints while providing some sustenance. This had become a desirable place to live for the weaker true gods. The residential areas of true gods are absolutely safe. During the bustling day, and at some thriving places at night, we absolutely forbid dark forces from making a move, Moli Meng continued. But if someone wanders into secluded and shadowy places and gets killed by dark forces, there's nothing we can do. This is also to give dark forces a slight reprieve, otherwise, if they are driven too hard, they would defect to Shi Kingdom's forces, Moli Meng said, shaking his head. Shi Kingdom's forces are truly the biggest scourge for the Huyang city. Luo Feng listened. "Little Qi, you may leave first." Moli Meng looked over at Jiarong Qi, who respectfully bowed to Luo Feng with gratitude before withdrawing. "Brother Luo He," Moli Meng spoke in a low voice, "I want to ask, if the city owner's mansion offers a bounty, would you be willing to take action to kill the leader of Shi Kingdom's forces, Shui Yun? I've heard that the leader of Shi Kingdom's forces, Shui Yun, has had several confrontations with the city owner's mansion. Even the full mobilization of Huyang City's Great Formation and the personal involvement of Commander Moli Xiao haven't been enough to deal with Shui Yun," Luo Feng said. "Acting in Huyang City, the city owner's mansion has the advantage of home ground. Yet, Shui Yun remains at large. He is very strong," Moli Meng admitted. "So, you're looking to hire me?" "Naturally, the price has to be higher," Luo Feng said. Moli Meng was surprised. He really dared to accept. "How much?" asked Moli Meng. Besides the bounty offered publicly by the Flame Wind Pavilion, I'd add an extra 5 million cosmic sand, Luo Feng said. I can give it a try, but I do not guarantee success. If I fail, I won't ask for the bounty. Moli Meng shook his head. That's too high. If the city owner's mansion was really willing to offer that much, we would have already publicly put up a reward of 6 million cosmic sand at the Flame Wind Pavilion. That way, some terrifying powerhouses from other places would probably come rushing over. How much can you offer? Luo Feng inquired. The current bounty from the blood cloud at the Flame Wind Pavilion is 1 million cosmic sand. We can add another million cosmic sand, Moli Meng said, looking at Luo Feng. Luo Feng shook his head. Too little. If Brother Luo he is interested, I could think of a way, but adding 5 million cosmic sand is impossible, Moli Meng said. You folks better find Shuiyun first, Luo Feng said no more. Before killing the blood python leader, Luo Feng had thought about dealing with Shuiyun. But the biggest problem, they couldn't find him. Moli Meng nodded, his hiding very carefully. Once we find him, we'll contact you. We'll talk about it then, Luo Feng agreed. Oh, by the way, Brother Luo he, the blood python leader must have sent messages to several forces before his death, Moli Meng said. I've received one. Oh? What message did he send before he died? Luo Feng asked. Brother Luo he, give me one communication imprint, and I will send you the message in full, Moli Meng said. Luo Feng also took out a transmission token, and both parties left a communication imprint, enabling them to contact each other. An ordinary transmission token. Moli Meng recognized it. Such ordinary transmission tokens have a range slightly larger than that of Huyang City, and can even be blocked by small cosmic domains. However, the more powerful beings are, the more willing they are to use these ordinary transmission tokens. This is the message he sent me. Moli Meng immediately sent Luo Feng a copy. Luo Feng laughed upon seeing it. His mechanical stream secret treasure is worth 1.5 million cosmic sand, and mine is worth 5 million cosmic sand. I wasn't aware that my mechanical stream secret treasure was so expensive. Moli Meng was secretly alarmed. This Luo he was so confident that he didn't even hide his possession of the mechanical stream secret treasure right in front of him. Clearly, Luo he had confidence in himself. Brother Luo he, you must not be careless, Moli Meng warned. Such a vast fortune could attract some terrifying powerhouses from other places to come to Huyang City to deal with you. The novel .net website on Google to access chapters of novels early and in the highest quality. Would they believe it? Luo Feng asked. There may be some who do. Anyone who dares to make a move will have some sort of reliance, Moli Meng said. Luo Feng nodded. Brother Moli, thanks. Deep inside, Luo Feng was quite looking forward to having some powerful beings show up. He could become even wealthier. This video will end here.